Good morning, everyone. Hope you are all doing really good. Thanks for joining us this morning for an exciting webinar session and SAT program. I just wanted to introduce you all how NATS as an organization set up and how we are helping to the community. Those who are new to NATS, NATS is a North America Telugu Society. And I would like to introduce myself, how I fit into NATS. This is Prasad Arikatla, NATS Tampa Bay Chapter Coordinator. I'm blessed to be able to welcome you all for today's session and speak about NATS. As I said, NATS is a non-profit national organization exclusively for Telugus and others as well who are living in North America. Our primary objective is to address the needs and concerns that affect our people's day-to-day lives and extend a hand when they are in need. We have been very successful in the past. We've been around for 10 plus years with successful history in helping in various aspects. We also have a 1-888 for Telugu's number where people can just dial in and seek help and assistance. Our email for help is helpline@natsworld.org. To just give you a high-level idea of what we can help as an organization, we have several areas where we helped in the past and willing to help. Some of them are career guidance, accident and death assistance, community development, domestic violence, education and schools, immigration assistance, medical assistance, and parental anxiety, student insurances, and finally helping our kids to participate in some of the exclusive programs and offer volunteering hours. So all in all, we request you all to have our 1-888 number and details for any of the assistance. And with that, I would like to introduce Mr. Amal Elkuri, who brought Sabrish and introduced to us for an exclusive webinar on SAT. Amal, I would like to request you to introduce our guest speaker, Sabrish, and take over from me.
Hello all.
Amal, are you there?
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Prasad. And thank you, NATS, for giving us the opportunity to introduce Sabrish Krishnan. There's a lot to talk about him. There's a lot of experiences that we had together. There's a lot to inform you all for how we met Sabrish from our family side, knowing Dr. Balakrishnan and his son. But due to time limitations, I'm going to try to be very brief and pass it on to Sabrish to give us some input on how he's reinvented the SAT and an attempt that he's made to demystify the SAT. Who is Sabrish, and how do I have some affiliation with him? Why is he here? Which he's going to pass on, help us out with, giving enough information about him and his SAT program. He's a social media consultant for Tampa Bay, a former director of technology and marketing for Salt Capital USA. It's an investment banking firm in San Francisco. He's also founded Flip Sitter Academy, which primarily he's going to use his white chalkboard, which he's invented through tutors.com group. This tutors.com group is ranked top 10 in Florida, and he's growing quite a little. So the whole purpose of this is to introduce his tutors.com, not necessarily as much, but bring to our audience SAT program and the support that the parents necessarily have to provide with for our young generation to succeed in getting into colleges. That's the whole motive of this presentation. He's also turnaround consultant for startup companies on Co-Founders Lab. Historically, I've served more than 100 students over the past couple of years and successfully increased scores for all score ranges coming in. Sabrish Krishnan is an inventor. He's a guest speaker on occasion. He comes from USF. He has over 10 years of tremendous experience in intellectual property, logistics, prototyping. He's got some patents by age 22 and is now launching an app, Flipsera Collaborate, that utilizes a patent pending broadcasting engine. Those are too many IT words for me. Me being layman in IT, is very hard to tackle about and give information about his achievements in the IT sector. He was also featured on WCJB TV News in Gainesville, Florida. It's on YouTube, and if you put in Sabrish Krishnan, you would get that YouTube video that he talks about his innovation, the white chalkboard. He's currently working on launching Flipsera Academy, Tampa Bay, an initiative to offer educational opportunities to the underprivileged, minority populations, and areas of poverty over the use of technology and apps. He's a good writer, an inventor, and his specialty is the art of communication and presentation through technology. You can find his profile on the team page, wtctampa.org, and you would find all this information on Flipsera website too. Sabrish, if you can help us demystify the SAT program for our audience. Appreciate it for taking the time. Thank you all.
Okay, I am unmuted. So for the video, I believe that's the control on your side, yes? Okay.
We're not seeing your screen, are we?
Let's see, Sabrish, some more. I am not muted. Oh, there we go, start video. Wonderful.
Can you start your video?
Yes.
Yes.
Can everybody
Perfect.
hear me? Yes? All right, fantastic.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Okay, everybody. Good morning. Namaste to everybody. My name is Sabrish Krishnan. As Amal was saying, thank you, the North American Telugu Society, Tampa Bay chapter, and to all other prominent leaders of the North American Telugu Society for giving me this opportunity. Thank you to Amal, who has been a mentor to me for the past couple of years. He's taught me a lot about the different programs that the Telugu Society is doing. And I am very proud and happy to be part of this program, this organization opportunity. So thank you for taking your time out of your day on a Saturday morning and afternoon to be able to do that. And even to my students who have agreed to take the time out of their day to be a part of this program. So yes, let's continue. My goal here is to explain what the SAT is all about, to demystify it, and what the skill sets that are brought in for the SAT. So without further ado, the SATs, also known as the Scholastic Aptitude Test, it's a high school staple that high school students take all the time. And it's a very important test. Decades of students have been taking it over the course of many generations, and it has a lot of important practical applications. Now, the SAT, it's the bane of every high school kid. Nobody likes to take it. No one has ever liked taking it. You've got the whole fear and that whole anxiety complex, but you don't have to have that anymore. So we take the fear out of that equation by actually making you feel satisfied, comfortable, and happy with the SAT, because it's not as difficult as you would think. So we can transition it from being impossible to incredible. And that's what we're all about. And using the influences of different business leaders around us, such as the Telugu Society and everybody else, this is a community-based effort. What is the SAT? It is a scholastic aptitude test, and it's issued by the College Board. So many of you might have already heard of the College Board, and you can find more about it through the link on the bottom left, collegereadiness.org. And the purpose of the SAT, it's an option for students to stay competitive while they keep on elevating themselves above everybody else. Who takes the SAT? While many of you might have students that are in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, it allows them to be able to submit their scores to colleges, universities, and also being able to access the best scholarships. Quite literally, the higher the score that you have, it's your trump card to be able to earn the best possible scholarships. And yes, free college admissions. Many of you might have already heard of the Bright Futures Scholarship or Bright Futures Program, which is a Florida-based program. So in addition to University of South Florida, I'm also a University of Florida researcher, which is a huge dream school to a lot of students throughout Florida. And yes, I've helped students get into UF as well. And they're enjoying it, they feel successful. That's what this is all about. Why is this important? Well, scholars and researchers have been studying this test for a long time, and they've learned that it plays a major role in the transition and development from students going from high school to college and then beyond that. And it's very interesting to see how a lot of students, they think they know what the SAT is based off what they've seen. But industry leaders and experts go above that and explain why it's a continuous learning process, because you use it outside of college, even in the professional world, to land a good job. And as I mentioned before, you can have all the information you want by checking out the College Readiness website. Is the SAT hard? This is one of my main questions that I get from students and parents all the time. And then from there, we can then segue into what I call the 3 main myths of the SAT. And then I'll help demystify what the common conceptions and misconceptions are. It can be challenging. There's no doubt about that. With the right program though, and then industry experts, you can in fact win. That's what we're here for, and other industry experts that specialize in the SAT. Without proper preparation, you can in fact lose, in the sense that it's not going to be the score that you intended. So the really big question among students is, how do I get a good score? Well, there are trusted programs that you've probably seen before. There's Kumon, Princeton Review, Kaplan, and many others, such as ours, as we are emerging. A lot of these companies and these programs specialize in niche markets for the test, where millions of students take this test every year. We are all industry experts for this. So the benefits go for the students as well as for the parents. Such as what? I want to get into the college of my choice. Well, let's say that you are really ambitious, and I love working with ambitious students. I get to hear their stories. What if I want to go into Harvard, MIT, University of Florida? Fantastic. There are ways to help you get there. You want to be able to stand out from the masses with your high score. That high score allows you to be able to kind of leave a legacy on the educational side to your classmates and even to your teachers. Your teachers want to be able to think, that was my student, I'm really proud of him or her, and I know that they're going to succeed in life. That's the message you want to send to everybody. These other students then become your followers, and then you can then leave that kind of impression. You gain that confidence and you gain that knowledge basis. Plus, on top of that, as I mentioned before, the higher the score, then you get access to great scholarships. I'm going to very quickly take a trip down memory lane, and I'm going to talk to all of my brothers and sisters here and to parents within this video call. I was once I was once in their shoes as well. I had a really good GPA, 3.8 GPA. I still struggle with the SAT. I thought I knew everything, and it turns out I was completely wrong on how to approach it. I was under the impression using textbook type of, I guess, behavior or practice or approach, it would help out. I was dead wrong. That's why there are teachers in school, and that's why there are SAT tutors who specialize in this. With the right program, I was thankful to find a private tutor that showed me everything I needed to be able to score well on the test. Now, my role, or our role is, I want to make all of your students successful too, and I know that we can. And that's what this is all about today. So, without further ado, let us create a demo. I'm going to create a little demo, bringing in some of my students, a couple of my students, and we're going to do a little exercise. And we're going to show you this virtual atmosphere that brings these students to become winners. So Vera, are you ready?
Yes.
Fantastic. If Ruthvik would like to join in too, the whiteboard is already set. So I'm going to write out today's homework assignment. Now we talked about number 1, 3x plus 6 is equal to 12. Vera, what did you get for your answer?
I got 3.
You got 3.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is not the correct answer. So the answer is actually going to be 2. So Ruthvik, were you able to figure this question out? Is his audio working? All right, well, Ruthvik, would you like to go ahead and demonstrate to us how you can get the answer? There you go, thank you. Everybody give Ruthvik a round of applause. Vera, you did okay, but I think what you need to do, go back into the algebra exercises that we told you about. And if you can, go ahead and pair up with Ruthvik so he can explain to you everything so you can get ready for the next test, because I think you need to really practice that because section 3 math is going to be really heavily involved in that. So Vera, Ruthvik, thank you. I will look forward to seeing you next week for the upcoming test. So have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. All right, so that's essentially an example of what it looks like to be able to bring students together, for them to collaborate. And yes, wrong answers do happen, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is how they learn, this is how they improve, and how they get better. So let's talk about some myths. And I hear these myths all the time. I have a GPA of 3.8. or I'm going to be the valedictorian of my high school. So naturally, I'm going to have a 1400 plus on my SAT, 10% of the national ranking. No, SAT expert will tell you, a high GPA does not correlate to a high SAT score. If you're the valedictorian, congratulations, I'm proud of you. If you got a 3.8 GPA, congratulations, that's fantastic. That means nothing in the SAT. The SAT is a whole different world. That's why there are school teachers who teach you textbook-based information. And that's why there are SAT tutors who have their experience, who have that expertise. So if your dream is to get a 1500, 1600, or as high as you can get, fantastic. Join any of the programs. We're open for students now. And I advocate your students to choose the program that's best fit for them, because I know they're going to do really well. The idea is once you get involved in the SAT and learn about it, it's going to open up a whole new world of confidence for you. That's what this is all about. Myth number 2. I have all A's on my report card for reading, writing, and math. Well, congratulations. I'm sure you studied really hard and your family's really proud of you. I am too. So obviously you're thinking you're going to get a high score on the SAT. No, has nothing to do with that. Again, an SAT expert would say, straight A's has nothing to do with the SATs. Here's one thing I can tell. You may be able to learn the SAT faster, and you may be able to score higher quicker. You still need an SAT tutor for that. You're not going to be able to rely on your math school subjects and your writing and reading school subjects. We've seen it all the time. So many students keep thinking that, oh, well, I've got a 3.9 GPA. Well, you still need help. That's why your score isn't the way you want it to be. Why? Because this is an aptitude test. Aptitude has nothing to do with classroom subjects. This is designed to be able to think outside the box. When you think outside the box, you can then be able to master the SAT. These test writers are brilliant, smart guys too. Everybody is smart, very capable of doing anything. As long as we show you the way though, then you can know what to do. Myth number 3. This is the most common myth we hear from all students and parents, or students. I'm not going to be using the knowledge I gained from the SATs in college or in my career because they're no longer relevant. Again, an SAT expert will tell you, this is why it's called the aptitude test. Your aptitude, whether you go for college admissions, job interviews, or even just trying to be able to promote yourself in the workforce and elevate your status, your aptitude is always going to be challenged. The idea is for you to constantly elevate yourself above others. We've seen it all the time, whether you are, so my role as an director of marketing and technology through Salt Capital USA Investment Banking in San Francisco that Amal pointed out, they use exponents in math all the time. So point being is that whether you're a lawyer or a doctor or engineer, intuitively, you're actually using a lot of the practices and concepts from the SAT, and we show students that they do exactly that. And that's what we're here for. What's tested on the SAT? Well, reading, writing, and math, all 3 of these subtests. And from this slide, as you can see, it's a 3-hour test, and there are that many questions. Each of these subtests, reading, writing, and math, they all have their own independent values that you can utilize outside of the SAT, which is why we have these expressions here: motivate others to follow you and transition from being a follower to a leader. Math is the language of the future, and it will empower our next generation. And reading, when you master reading outside of just traditional reading from school, whether you're reading a newspaper article or even just anything in general, you're already driving your path towards success because you've learned to be able to read outside of school. Let our programs, Kumon, Princeton Review, anything, let us help your students achieve that success that they've always wanted to. College admissions look for out-of-the-box thinking. So let's say that your students are interested. Who offers the SAT? Well, there are many trusted programs available, and some commonly used resources include Kumon. Students often go on YouTube. They look into private tutors, etc. Princeton Review, Kaplan, Khan Academy, we're emerging as well. And the section on the left side, these are all very common types of service-oriented programs where all the staff, they're designed to constantly look out for the students, help on the concepts, homework help, etc., just to make sure that the students understand the concepts and that they're always ready for the test, for everything so they feel comfortable. It's all about being confident. It's all about being comfortable taking the SAT and then ideally just mastering it and then appreciating the time you spent to be able to get that test that you want. And parents can then say, oh, I'm proud of my students and this has been a tremendous journey and rewarding experience. And you can see from sections 1 through 4, here's kind of how the sections work. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. Section 3 and 4, one is without a calculator and one is with the calculator. So one of them is probably harder. Not really. Again, these programs are designed to be able to show these students how to master it. Where can I take the SAT? Well, again, the College Board provides different testing locations, and you can find them in Pearson testing facilities. Experts recommend you to be able to go on College Board and to consult with any of the staff there to know when the next test day is, the time, and the location. if I want to take the SAT, it costs $52 as a general admission. And another important question that people ask is, how many times should I take it? Well, experts recommend, suggest that you want to maximize your attempts to just 3 attempts. And we recommend that if you can do it within your first or second attempt, that's when you become a lot more impressive. And then college admissions say, oh, you took the SAT only once or twice, you got that score? That's fantastic. Because if you exceed 3 attempts, it's as if you're constantly using those tests as practice. College admissions want to know that you are such an out-of-the-box thinker with the program that you're ready for anything. When you're ready for anything, anything can be thrown in your way. You know how to solve it. You know how to be put on the spot and being able to problem solve anything. We can help you do it right the first time. And it always works. With that being said, while $52 doesn't seem like much, I would like to be able to talk about the parents' point of view. My parents invested a lot of time and money into my education and for the SAT, and for that, I'm forever grateful. Now, all of my brothers and sisters that are on this call right now, it's your turn to understand this point of view too. You owe a lot to your family, and for the first time, we can show you what it can do, what we do, and what other people do to be able to do this right the first time. Ease the financial and timely burden that parents go through for the success of their kids. I went through that, and I'm forever grateful. I owe everything to them. Now we want to be able to train you guys to deliver that same message to your parents as well. That's what this is all about. What do we want to look for? Fast, accurate, and then efficient. So with that being said, those are the main premises and basis of the SAT. And from there, I'll let the Telugu Society bring in and introduce the next guest speaker, Amal.
Yeah, thank you, Subish. Do you want to have any kids who can talk about the program and
oh, that's right. Is Vera
explain their insights? Yeah,
is Vera
right.
still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Vera. So allow me to introduce you to everybody. Vera Morgan, she is a SAT student. And Vera, how do I stop sharing my screen? Stop sharing. There we go. Vera, yes. If you'd like to go ahead and say a few words about yourself and your experience, go ahead whenever you're ready. I'll go ahead.
Okay. Yo, I'm Vera Morgan. I just finished 9th grade. And with Flipsitter Academy, I can score a 1450 on the SAT in 9th grade. And I'm able to be on par with students who have taken the SAT without even taking it myself. My tutor taught me how to keep on improving each time, and the skills I learned could also be applied to my school classes. So it's not only for the SAT, it can also help you in school. And you start off with a boot camp, and that serves as a great introduction to concepts that are on the SAT that my classes have not covered. And on Flipsitter, it's actually really easy to connect with my tutor, and we can use the whiteboard to visually learn and collaborate with other students. So overall, the course actually really helped me improve my scores and be happy with my scores.
Thank you, Vera. That's a really encouraging statement and motivational thing. So, being a 9th grader, we wonder how you got that much in the first attempt, and I'm sure you and your tutor and tip setter have worked to the best interest of everyone. So, what are the challenges that you incur as a first-time taker, and how do you certify that the program worked out well for you to get such a high score in the first attempt itself?
Well, some challenges are being in 9th grade, my classes don't cover everything that's on the SAT yet, so it's hard to prepare for it. But when I'm in Flipsitter and with my tutor, I can learn those things way before the classes even get to teach them, and then I can apply them on the SAT and get a good score.
Awesome, awesome. And congratulations, and wish you good luck. And that's really wonderful information to hear from you. And Sabish, do you have anyone else?
Yes, I do have one other student. She's actually taking the test now, but what she did do is that she left me with this. This was a summary from another student. Her name is Maher Abdallam, and she's African. She's from Ethiopia. And she was also studying at the same time with Vera, and he can vouch for that. She started out with an 1120. She's actually a junior, and she's actually covered a lot of the classes that you would normally see on the SAT that Vera has not done so yet. And it's not even about who has done what. The key to this is being able to understand how the test works by deeply investigating into it. She's been doing really well, and she's taking her test now. And I have the utmost confidence that she's going to really excel in life. And this whole 2.5 to 3 month journey that she's had with us, she's been so confident, and her parents are very thankful. And I'm thankful for them to be able to allow us to be able to give this opportunity to grow with her. And I'm very excited to see how she succeeds in life. And she last left off at a 1450 on her last Princeton review test. So now she's applying that skill set to her test today. And to everybody there, I also do wish that you wish her the best of luck while she's taking it, because she studied very, very hard. She's a very hardworking girl. And that's what us as tutors cherish more than anything else, that students have the motivation and enthusiasm to be able to do just that. And Vera is going to be a very model student as well. And I'm very excited and confident that he's going to be successful in life.
Wonderful compliments, Sabish. In fact, these comments make some of the newcomers who are new to SAT, SAT, or even the parents give enough confidence and boost. So some of the challenges that we all have as kids get into their 10th grade or so, how to connect the kids to the right program, right time, and probably one time to get the best score, right? So having seen these two kids giving you so many compliments about this program, what do you think is the special about how you engage them, motivate them to succeed in the first attempt itself?
Yes, so we've learned that the SAT is very personality driven. We've been able to tutor students from all walks of life, multicultural, football players, cheerleaders, everybody. Through our program, every student has increased their score. What we do is that we go beyond just normal conventional thinking. We ask them, what do you guys like to do? What do you guys like to do for fun? Because the SAT is very personality driven. When you find a sense of motivation, math is one of the most commonly requested things from us. And then we ask them what they do. And then we use innovative thinking and approaches. And we also like to be able to learn from our students as well by saying, here's what they do. Then we always ask them, can you explain to us how you got this answer for all the math questions and other things as well? When they are able to explain the answer without hesitation, then we know that they've mastered that concept and they move on to something else. So over that whole course, much like training for a sport, it's all about that whole muscle memory for your mind. When they do that, they're then able to constantly just take practice tests over and over again, and that they see that their confidence has been boosted, their communication has already improved, and then that whole confidence, that's not anything that can be taught. It can only be experienced. And that experience comes through being able to provide a nurturing environment that these students can learn from, and that sense of comfort that they know that they've always been looking for. And it's a system that parents trust. When parents trust a program that is for the benefit of their kids, they're investing in their kids' futures, and for them to become that proud student that they know that will succeed in life as the next doctor, as the next engineer, or maybe even the next leader in the NATS society. So it's things like that where community is driven together to find the best things for our kids to succeed, because I was one of them too. And I'll forever be thankful for Nats and Amal and yourself and everybody else I come across for giving me this opportunity, because sometimes parents are relying on a good system to be able to figure out what's the best thing to do. Lack of a system means lack of awareness. Lack of awareness means that everything becomes disjointed. And what we do is that we put everything back together as a structured system so that parents and students can feel good about themselves. That's what this is all about.
Thank you. Now I would like to introduce one of our NATS member community, well-known person and practicing pediatrician for more than 25 years in Tampa Bay, Brandon area, Dr. Sudarshan Kamshetty Garu, to give his insight about as a successful parenter, successful philanthropist, successful doctor, serving the local Tampa Bay community for several years, and finally has been very successfully supporting NATS Tampa Bay chapter. He and his family, Ramagaru and all, have been big supporters for us in local community. So I would like to request Dr. Sudarshan Kamshetty Garu to take over here and give us some insights, educate us how a parent can motivate the kids, how we can be successful in making the kids succeed in this SAT, and how Flip Sector Academy can boost their confidence. So please take over from me.
Thank you, Prasad Garu. That was a lot of words about me, but thanks a lot. Good morning, everybody. I just want to talk a few words, a parent's perspective during these SAT training programs. Just the word SAT sends jitters and ignites a lot of fear, anxiety, and a lot of insecurities. And all of us who have gathered here know that this is one of the important stepping tests for your college admissions. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, for college admissions, scholarships, and especially for students to enter into the dream schools. I'm so glad that we are having these kinds of online tutoring program available to us right from a study room. Several years ago, when myself and my wife were involved taking the kids for SAT prep, as everybody had said, it's just not the school alone which is going to train you for the SAT. There are lots of other things which are required for SAT training. It's just not one. Students might be brilliant, might be smart, but they might not be a good test taker. So there are lots of tricks involved, time involved, and train yourself. Like for anybody who needs to excel, say any sport, tennis, swimming, boxing, anything, they always need a coach. You might be the best, but you still need a mentor and you still need a coach. Similarly, although how brilliant and how smart a kid might be, you need a separate coach to get a good score. Thereby you can enter into a good school. I remember several years ago taking my son Sujay for this tutoring. We had one tutor for reading, one tutor for writing, one tutor for math. So we had 3 different tutors. He went to an IB school with a little amount of time available. The amount of time we spent on the road, 3 tutors in a week, 3 after school timings, and during the weekend, the amount of time we spent almost was just incredible. And looking now, I would say it was ridiculous. I can't even imagine how we did it. We would just gather him from the school, take a snack, drive him to the coach, driving to the tutor, So it was a lot of work. It was just not time alone, the amount of energy spent, and of course, the amount of resources we had to use, the amount of money we had to spend. It was insanely ridiculous. With all these things, now everything available in your study room, it's not a big thing. I would definitely choose something which is available, and I really applaud Mr. Sabresh for bringing this platform to all of us. It is a very stressful preparation. Everybody goes through this. Every parent goes through this. Lots of time involved. So one word of caution I always advise to my parents is, guys, just don't push the kids too hard. Especially in the last 1 year, ever since the pandemic started, we have seen a lot of kids with mental health issues, a lot of anxiety issues. The kids are being pushed a lot. The kids are, the goals are set very high. Have some realistic expectations. Take breaks. It's okay if you do not get the fantastic or full score on your first attempt. It's okay to take a second attempt. Make it enjoyable. And now that you're saving a lot of time with travel, right in your study, it's such a wonderful thing to happen, especially to all of us in local Tampa. The platform available to all of us from our local, right in our backyard. I'm so happy and thrilled and excited. I really applaud Sabrish for bringing this platform to all of us, and I commend NATS for helping the Indian community here and our community to bring awareness to this platform. Thank you, Prasad Garu. Thank you, NATS. And Sabrish, good luck, buddy. Good luck. You are doing a fantastic job. I really wish all these platforms were available to us several years ago. Students who have gathered here, parents who have gathered here, please use this opportunity. There's nothing great than sitting in your living room and trying to prepare for your SAT tests. I have Sujay here, who is my son, who graduated from a local high school, and then he went to Nova Southeastern, and then he graduated recently from med school, UF. So he's going to share his experiences also about SATs. Sujay, are you there?
Sujay, you need to
Yes,
unmute.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Nana. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Prasad Garu, for inviting me onto this seminar. It's an honor to talk to everyone here. Yeah, we put in a lot of work back then. I graduated from high school around 2013, so it's close to 8 years ago now, and times were very different then. What we had to do well on the SAT was very different than what we have to do right now. I think to everyone here that's here on a Saturday morning itself shows that you all know to some extent that the SAT is important. Otherwise you will not be spending your time here on a Saturday morning. And it really is, it is a college admission test. So what are colleges looking for? They always say their slogan of like, hey, we look at students holistically, This is definitely true to an extent, but is really not the whole truth. Your score does matter. It is very important, holistically or not. Yeah, your GPA matters. It's very important, but you have to know that when you're applying to these colleges, you're applying against students that are around the country. So a 4.0 GPA from the Bay Area is really not equivalent to a 4.0 GPA from a rural high school in Wisconsin. So the SAT really is that factor that can kind of level the playing field and see where one student's at and have a real caliber or a measuring tool to see where each student is against each other. Yes, it's not the entire thing. There are lots of components. It's evaluating a student, but it is definitely used as a filter. And because it is used as a filter, it is a great way to get your foot into the door into any college admission table and have your application looked at that way. Back then, we did know about the importance of the SAT and learning these test-taking strategies. These test-taking strategies are not things that are taught in a high school setting. They are taught, high school settings are just there to teach you about how to do good on the high school test, not really on the SAT. They're not getting that much of a kickback or anything for you doing that great on the SAT. So that is something that you have to take the initiative of. That is something that you have to do. I'm so lucky to have my parents take the initiative back in 2013. We didn't have Zoom. We barely had Skype. Skype was barely a thing. Online tutoring was not really a big thing back then. If you guys are familiar with the Brandon area, we live in Tampa Bay area. We live in Brandon, whereas all our tutors used to live in like New Tampa. So it would be 45 minutes up for English tutoring, then 45 minutes back, 45 minutes up for math tutoring, then 45 minutes back, 45 minutes up for writing tutoring, which writing isn't even a thing anymore, but then 45 minutes back. So that time, that money, that gas, everything on top of just the regular school work, being an IB, doing extracurricular, swimming, tennis, whatever it is, that adds up to so much time. And that's something that is very important though. Having that physical nature of tutoring is very important. Sharing like, a whiteboard with your tutor was something that was very important that you couldn't just get from just talking like this. So I really want to thank Sabrish, I think you have a great product here. I think this is a great solution for what we've all been needing. Having like a whiteboard that people can share, students can share is something that's really cool. And I'm kind of jealous of the students, man. Like they have like such a good product in front of them, and that's so interactive that they're going to learn a lot. And there's so much time that's saved, so much money that's saved in this too. And I think this frees up a lot of time in their daily lives where they can like we said, there's so much pressure on these students these days that the more free time they have, the more time they have to decompress, the more time that they are able to, be a kid, be that 12, 13, 14, 15, 17-year-old again, and take away from just sitting in the car all day long is a great thing. So, I think this is a really good tool, and I really hope that all you guys take advantages of the solutions that are presented with you. Thank you again for having me. Thank you, Nats. Thank you, Nana, for everything that you've done. Thank you for driving me around and everything. It's glad to be a part of this presentation. And now I want to take the honor to bring in Shiva Pangluri to do the vote of thanks.
Sujay,
yes.
Sorry, one minute. Thank you so much. You are very energetic, awesome, and you are giving us all kinds of insights. And I heard you said about whiteboard, and it's an exclusive product of Flipsetter. Am I right? So that being an interactive tool that you're able to work virtually, interactively, exclusively for this particular program is a big asset, and great information that you have shared. And I want to thank you, Dr. Sudarshan Garu, for bringing in Sujay to give his first-hand experience in a very energetic and motivational manner. We're really, really blessed to have you both to give us a wonderful insight. If you don't mind, I just want to interrupt here for a few minutes Q&A, and then I'll let you invite Shiva Garu for the final vote of thanks. We have a few questions. If you don't mind, I would like to bring in those. Mr. Can I ask a couple of questions, Mr. Sabrish?
Yes, please do. And before that, thank you, Sujay, for that wonderful comment. And I can tell that you are also the energetic type as well. And a lot of what you said was very interesting because you're right. We didn't really have that. A lot of us didn't have that kind of luxury of just being able to be interactive due to the pandemic. And I can see that you got the whole, I'm going to be a doctor look. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And I had that same look as well because I want to fulfill my dad's expectations too. So we're kind of one and the same. And I do wish you the best success as well to become a doctor. I think you're going to do a great job. And yeah, thank you for that quote unquote endorsement. I think that you're also going to be a big role model to our upcoming generations too, because kind of within that chronology of success. So thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Subresh, one of the question is, do we support any special needs kids to teach them or support them their SAT kind of thing?
Yes, we can. That's a very good question. Our program has taken special needs kids. And as I mentioned before, we have covered students from all walks of life, very timid ones, ones that are very shy, that are socially not as comfortable as they could be. And we've explained to them, this is a very comforting environment. All we're going to do is explain to you how this test works and how you can utilize it for your school subjects and to do better. And yes, it's very common for people to be skeptical at first. It happens all the time. When they go through that program, the amount of, I guess you could say, mind-boggling experiences that these kids go through and their parents go through is quite interesting and rewarding. There's nothing better than to see a student feel so proud of themselves for a reading comprehension question or writing or even math that they were not able to do before because they didn't understand it. And then once we show them how to do it, and they actually write it out and then they answer it right, that whole sense of accomplishment by saying, oh, wow, now I can do this. I know how to do it and I feel so much better. Now I can score an A on my test in school. It's interesting because a lot of tutors can figure out how to apply SAT back into their school subjects. So whether you are special needs and you have a really tough learning curve, that innovation helps to be able to connect them back to what was that missing link so they can feel that same aptitude and that importance to continue succeeding just like everybody else does. So yes, we have also done special needs kids too.
All right. The next question is, any particular suggestion for Ivy League related customized program?
Absolutely. If you're going to go into MIT, Yale, and I'm a huge proponent of University of Florida, not only because I'm a researcher there, but also University of Florida is one of the top schools in the Southeast. They are ranked along that same line. Anybody who's interested in these Ivy Leagues, leadership, mentorship, SAT scores, and GPA, being able to think outside the box. Because as Sujay was saying before, it's all about being able to think outside the box. It's all about being able to explain and understand the environment around you, like being very open-minded and then being energetic, constantly be able to understand paradigm shifts that are going on and see what you can utilize as resources in front of you to get to that next level. And the sooner that students learn from that and understand that faster, they then have already taken that step and they've already defeated that timeline where they can get to before anybody else does. And that was to Sujay's point, and then the whole point of this program in general. And that's what Ivy Leagues are looking for. And we have actually landed students into interviews into MIT, Yale, Stanford, etc. So they're all doing great things. So yeah.
Next question is, how students can benefit the program in a different, innovative way? Do we have any customized tutoring plans for our audience?
Yes, absolutely. Students often ask tutors, whether it be from Kumon or Princeton Review or even from us, I just want to focus on math. Fantastic. Or I have a little bit of trouble of reading and writing because my reading comprehension isn't the way it should be. I'm scoring A's on my English classes for AP Literature, or say even for English 2, where I'm reading a book. Well, I can't get that to translate to the SAT. So what we would do and other tutors would do is say, let's focus these next 3 or 4 weeks on how you can grasp the reading comprehension knowledge from SAT reading passages and show you what it takes to be able to outsmart the test itself so you can get those answers. And it's very common for students before the training to get maybe only 50 or 60% of them correct. With the right techniques, which is subject to every program, the technique that we utilize, these students end up scoring 90% and above on their reading comprehension. And the same thing can go for writing. And we explain how to outsmart the writing too.
All right. Any other questions from the audience? Yeah, if not, we will let our Shivkumar Thongduri to take over and do the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Can all of you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I would like to thank Sabresh and his team on behalf of NATS for giving such a good information on SAT. I know, being one of the Indian parent, in United States, I observed not only in United States, anywhere in the world, most of our Indian parents, their lifetime goal, they think their lifetime goal is having their kid getting into a reputed institute or university for their college admission. Having with the availability of internet and many other media, we have tons of information on SAT. But information is something different. A right information only can lead us a right knowledge. And with this event, Sabresh and his team gave us a very good information, and I really thankful on behalf of NATS for giving us such a good piece of information that will be helpful not only for our community, but of course everyone. I thank Sabresh and his team for his time and sharing the information for all our community. And I would like to thank Amal Al Kuru for initiating this program. Definitely, he introduced us, Sabresh, to NATS and all our other community through this event. And this is really a good opportunity given by Amal Garu to know about Sabresh and have a lot of information on SAT. And coming back to the preparation, and of course, like I said, right information can lead to right knowledge. We have good examples said by Sabresh, Vera, and also Sujay. I thank both of you on behalf of NATS for sharing their experience with SAT preparation. And of course, I'm very much thankful to Dr. Kamsittigaru, Sudarshan Kamsittigaru, for sharing wonderful experience as a parent. And myself also, one of the potential parent getting ready for the SAT for my kids. So these information and inputs are very much useful. So I thank you for your input, Dr. Kamsittigaru. I'm really happy, and I feel proud to have most of my friends and colleagues being a part of NATS core team and NATS national team and local chapter. So I'm very happy to have all my friends and colleagues part of NATS. Because I have been watching for the past almost, like I can say, 3 to 4 years. I was not very much before. For the past 3 to 4 years, I have been watching NATS programs, and they are really wonderful. So I really proud to have my friends part of this NATS team. They are doing wonderful job, very good events that not only helpful to only our community, but most of the programs they are bringing are helpful to everyone. So I wish good luck to all my friends in NATS, and I wish they bring more of such events that are really helpful. So as a part of our NATS team, my friends, my colleagues, I should thank Srinivas Guttukondagaru, who is immediate past chairman, Sridhar Appasani, current chairman, Vijay Shekhar Anne, president, Prasant Pinnamneni, board of director, Srinivas Maladi, vice president of marketing. And also, of course, everybody knows without our Tampa chapter NATS team, this event may not be possible, I would like to thank our NATS team, Prasad Arikatlagaru, Sudhir Mikilineni, Rajesh Kandru, Suresh Bojja, Murali Medicherla, Ranjit Chaganti, Srinivas Kakkumanu, Ravi Gummadipudi, and of course our Tampa Bay NATS core team. So I'm very much thankful to our core team and core team members for making this event very successful. I wish our NATS to bring more such events, and of course I finally thank everyone who participated this event and made this event successful. And I'm sure the information you gained today through this webinar is very useful for you as a parent, and also for your kid for SATS preparation. Thank you very much and have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Sivagaru. Thank you all for joining and making it a wonderful session today. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Prasad Garu. Bye.
Thank you.